I have slept 10 hours in the last 3 days. This guy thinks that my heart is going to explode because I consume over 1,000 milligrams of caffeine, even though his most recent post is him chugging Bush apples and eating McDonald's. I do not care. Why? Because of a term that I came up with called living in the red line. Now, what does living in the red line mean? It means living on the edge of your perceived capabilities physically and mentally every single day. Now, I understand that this lifestyle is not going to be for everyone, so I'm going to give you 2 options. Option number 1, you get to the end of your life having achieved everything you ever wanted. You accomplished all the goals that you said you were going to. Everyone that you love and care about is taken care of. Physically, they're healthy because you instilled those habits into them, because you led by example. Mentally, they're chilling because you provide for them financially, so they have no mental stress. Basically, every single person that you care about and love is taken care of because of you. But the catch is, you die at the age of 30. Now, option number 2, you get to the end of your life, you end up marrying a below average woman, you end up settling, you guys lived paycheck to paycheck, you spent the entire year saving up for one vacation that you took every single year to a mediocre spot because you guys couldn't afford any better. You lease a car, you have a 40-year mortgage, you notice your wife over the years becoming overweight because she sees you don't work out, you don't take care of yourself, so why would she? That inevitably gets instilled into your children as well. So your children become overweight, your children have underlying health issues from an early age. And every single person that you care about is mentally stressed because all of them are paycheck to paycheck. They struggle to pay the bills. All of them are unhealthy because you're not healthy and you are the one that's supposed to lead by example. But the catch with this one is that you get to live to the age of 60. You get double the amount of years on this planet, but there's 2 completely different outcomes at the end of it, right? And I'm choosing option 1 every single time because at the bare minimum, your duty as a man should be to provide to the people that you care about. That is your duty. And in order to do that, you have to live in the red line because your level of success is directly determined by how much value you provide. Your wife's level of respect to you is solely determined by how much value you provide to her, whether that is providing for her financially, whether that is providing for her physical safety, whether that is providing for her emotionally, spiritually. Your physique is a direct representation of how much you value yourself, how much you value your physical entity, which then leads into your mindset. How strong your mindset is directly determined to how much you value your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, your relationship with God, your relationship with the people that you care about the most. But the reason I say all of this, and the reason that I open this with the fact that I've slept 10 hours in the last 3 nights and that I consume so much caffeine and I do all of these things that are a bit controversial and against the grain, is because a lot of people don't understand that if they were going where I'm going, they would be just as crazy. They would be seen as just as crazy as I am. That's what it takes to reach the highest of highs. That's what it takes in order to provide value to, whether that be the marketplace, whether that be to your family, the people you care about, to your brothers in arms, whatever it might be. Your level of success is directly determined in every single aspect of your life by the amount of value that you provide. And in order to provide that value, you need to be skillful at something. And in order to be skillful at something, you need to live in the red line in that particular area every single day of your life in order to get to that level to where you can get paid for that skill. Because as the Joker famously said,
if you're good at something, never do it for free.
I'm sitting here reading the Bible right now before I have to go to work. And the past few days, I've worked basically open to close every single day. One of the quotes that I absolutely love
is that if you ask God to run a marathon, he's not going to put you at the finish line. He's going to give you a pair of running shoes. And I think that quote perfectly resembles what is currently going on in my life. Because to let you guys kind of know what's going on, I have a lot of student loans that I have to pay off. I was asking God, like, how am I going to pay this? Because it's a lot, and the monthly bill for it is a decent chunk of money. At least it is for me. For some of you, it might not be. But I was asking God, I'm like, how in the world am I going to make this payment every single month? And I was asking him for help. And obviously I wasn't expecting God to give me money, but I was like, just show me something, right? Like, just show me a way, show me any type of light at the end of the tunnel that I'm gonna make it out of this. And he put me in a position where I was able to work at the job that I'm currently working right now, which is a sales rep at a supplement company. I've been performing really well there. I've already started working at 2 different locations, and they're already talking about giving me my own store, which is about an hour away. So I might be moving out there. It's kind of nerve-wracking, but at the same time, it's exciting, because as much as I want to move out and want to, have my own space, my own level of freedom where I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, be able to record anytime I want, because my dad in particular doesn't really believe and support the whole concept of creating content, and he doesn't really understand the opportunity that we have in the world now. With all that being said, although it is exciting to get out and be on your own, it kind of is nerve-wracking because, at least from the lens that I grew up in, I'm starting to slowly realize now how many expenses you really have when you get out on your own, because I was fortunate enough to have my parents pay for a lot of my stuff growing up. And it's not like we were rich or anything, but at the same time, we weren't poor. We were kind of in the middle. And all it takes is about 30 seconds to do the math, and you realize you're like, shit adds up pretty quick. The expenses definitely pile up pretty quickly. And although it sounds like this is all about money, in the sense that it's like, oh yeah, you just have to focus on making money and just make as much money as possible so you can have the lifestyle that you want and live the lifestyle that you want. But it's not really all about money, if you think about it. Because before you could ever become rich financially, you need to be rich physically and mentally. And that's how you are able to become afforded with the ability to be financially rich. Now, there's a couple nuanced cases where maybe you catch a crypto pump or something like that, but none of that's sustainable. Like, if you want to build true wealth financially, you have to become rich mentally and physically first. And how you do that is through training, because training the body trains the mind, and training the mind also comes from experience and living what you preach. Because referring back to the first thing that I was talking about the quote where it says, if you want to run a marathon, God's going to give you a pair of running shoes. He's not going to put you at the finish line. If you want a strong mindset, God's going to if you want a strong mindset, God's going to put you through challenges and experiences and obstacles to test you so that when you come out on the other side of it, you're going to be stronger, not only physically, but mentally. And in the process of doing so, when you're in the heat of it, it's hard to remember that this is something that is going to make you stronger. And in the moment, it's like fuck, dude, this sucks. Like, I don't want to do this. Like me right now, it's, what time is it? It's 6:30 in the morning. Been up since 4:30. I worked 13 hours yesterday. I have another 12 today, but I still get up at 4:30 every single morning, get my training in, get a meal in, go to work. I do some work on my laptop when we're slow, and then I get back home from work and I train again, and then I eat again, and then I do some more work and I go to bed. And it's hard, don't get me wrong, but the only reason that I'm able to get through it is God. And I constantly have to remind myself that I don't have to do this. You know, I don't have to put myself through any of this. I have bags under my eyes, my head's fucking pounding. I'm consuming enough caffeine to kill a small child every single day. Like, I'm burning the candle at both ends. But this is what living in the red line is about, and why I love this phrase that I came up with. Because in order to get to where you want to go, if you have that level of ambition and you have these lofty goals where the average person is going to look at you like you're crazy, you have to live in the red line. You have to live at the edge of your body's perceived capabilities physically and mentally every single day if you want to be afforded that life. And I understand this life isn't for everyone. Everyone's not going to be willing to put themselves through torture every single day. It sucks. It sucks sleeping 4 to 6 hours a night. It sucks having to train twice a day. It sucks having to go work wherever they tell me, whatever location they tell me, drive there, work, be the only person in the store working, being by yourself in your own thoughts for hours. Obviously, like, when customers come in, I get to talk to them, but when it's slow, it's just me. And but even just now, I caught myself in the moment saying that, like, I have to do this, but I don't have to. I get to do it. And this is what I signed up for. This is what I asked for. I asked God to run a marathon. And he put a pair of running shoes in front of me and he said, "You better get to running." And even just talking about it now, that's why I'm making these Redline rants, these videos, because it really goes under the hood of the car, really, to let you guys in on what's going on inside my head, what thoughts are constantly rolling around in my brain 24/7, where I want to put you guys inside the mind of someone who truly is living in the red line every single day. I just want you guys to experience what it's like. And for those of you who are willing to embark on it with me, then I want you in my circle, because I'm telling you, this shit is hard enough on its own. It's hard enough in and of itself by yourself, doing it alone. And I did it alone for the first 2 years that I started this journey. And now I've been able to be afforded with coming into contact with a couple guys that they're my brothers. They live thousands of miles away from me. But through the beauty of social media, we were able to come into contact with one another. And they're the closest relationships I have, genuinely. Like, there is no one in real life, in my physical reality, that comes anywhere near the relationship that I have with these people, these guys. And I know it can be weird at first having relationships with people online. I know it can be weird not like actually meeting them and talking to them every single day, but this is the way that the world's going. And if you're like me and you don't have that supportive group around you, if you're like me and you don't resonate with the people in your hometown, you don't resonate with the people you encounter in the real world every single day, if they call you crazy, if they call you insane, psychotic for having these crazy goals, working as hard as you do, training as hard as you do, pushing your body physically and mentally every single day, if you have no one like that in your life that relates to you, then I want you inside my brotherhood. I want you inside my circle, because like I said, this journey's hard enough alone. But when you put your heads together and you have brothers alongside of you that you can share experiences with, suffer with, bleed with, sweat together. That sounded kind of gay, but you know what I mean. When you have guys by your side that are going through similar struggles and similar obstacles, or who have already gone through something similar than you, and they can give you the lessons that they learned through going through that and be able to help you navigate it better than if you were to try to do it on your own. That's what makes this journey beautiful. And not only does it make it beautiful, doing it with people that you would take a bullet for and they would take a bullet for you by your side, it also makes it easier, because like I said, you get to share what you've been through in order to help them get through it, and vice versa. And it's why I created it. It's why I created the Redline. And the Redline is small right now, but it's a stepping stone to something that's going to be much bigger. It's not just going to be, it's starting out now as a Discord server, but it's going to be something much bigger in the future. It's going to be a tribe. It's going to be genuinely like a country, basically. Like, I want to have meetups. I want to have, even like, this is going to sound so crazy, but like, I genuinely like I've envisioned before buying a piece of land and building a compound and having some of the people, like the elite members of this tribe, of this brotherhood that we're building, and having them all live on like this plot of land together, and it just being like a massive compound where we train together, we have like these big feasts, like these big dinners together as a family. Like, that's what it is. It's a brotherhood, it's a family, it's a tribe, it's a place where it's starting digitally, and it'll eventually become a real life thing. But the only way to get there is to live in the Redline every single day, to live at the edge of your body's perceived capabilities, physically and mentally, every single day. And in the process of doing so, you'll be rewarded with the riches of every aspect of your life, not just financially, but spiritually rich, mentally rich, physically rich in your relationships, all of it. And that's what it's all about, you know?
And ever since I have applied this principle into my life, every aspect of my life has immediately just straight linear trajectory to the physique, mindset, financial, And to give you the story on the financial right now, basically, for those of you who don't know, I work as a GM, or not a GM, I work as a sales rep at a supplement company called GNC. And I've been there for a little over a month. And in that span of a month, I have done something that no one has ever done in this company's history, which I have basically, for lack of better terms, dog walked everybody who has been there a year, 8 months, 6 months, multiple years, doesn't matter. Sales record wise, straight like stat sheet stats, I have destroyed everyone's numbers. My week to date numbers are better than some people's month to date. My month to date are better than some people's year to date. And as a result of that, not only am I outperforming them in sales, I do the little intangibles that no one else fucking does that I do because I live my life through the lens of how I do one thing is how I do everything. I treat this store right now, which I'm going to be honest with you, I do not make that much money. I make like $1,500 to $2,000 a month, depending on how much commission I make, because it's a sales job, and I currently work at a very small location, but I'm going to get to that later. Even at a job where I'm making that little of money, I'm still treating it like the most important aspects of my life. My training, my nutrition, my relationship with my woman, the relationship with the people that I have that I love with all of my heart. I treat that job, as well as all the other small things in my life, like the most important thing. Like, it is the most important thing in my life. And as a result, I am getting rewarded from it. And I'm going to continue living my life through this principle of how I do one thing is how I do everything. And to continue on with the story, because I have been performing so well, my district manager, who runs all of the stores in the district, it's like 18 different stores, she's gotten word of this, and my name has been popping up so much on the stat sheet that it's become undeniable. So she has been calling me personally, telling me that literally just a little over a month after joining this company, I am basically being fast-tracked as the golden boy to become a manager of my own store. They're just going to give me a store right off the rip. And as a result of getting bumped up to that position, my hourly immediately gets doubled. And my commission goes from earning just commission for my sales to now getting upgraded to earning commission, a higher percentage of a commission, as well as earning commission for the entire store. So even when I'm not working, I'm going to be making commission based off of whoever is working there and whatever their sales are. And on top of that, I'm going to have control over the hiring process, which means if I hire absolute killers who can perform at anywhere near my level, and the store can operate at still an extremely high level, even when I'm not there, I'm going to be making genuinely, like no bullshit, more money than I've ever made before in my life. Because not only am I going to get the commission boost and the hourly boost, I'm also going to be in a better location than I'm currently at right now. Because like I said, the store that I currently work at is one of the smallest stores in the district. But it's so crazy that God and the universe will literally give you whatever you want if you're willing to bust your fucking ass for it. Genuinely. Just bust your ass in every single area of your life that matters to you. It's honestly not even about the money. It's what the money is going to provide to me. It's going to be able to, first and foremost, it's going to be to retire my mother, because my mother is currently 60 years old, working 70, 80 hours a week at a job that she enjoys, don't get me wrong, but it's extremely stressful to her, and I can literally see the physical and mental toll that it takes on her every single day, and it pains me to see that, and it pains me knowing that I, as her son, am unable to do anything about it until now, which is why I'm so incredibly grateful for this opportunity that God has given me. And within this opportunity, he has basically told me that I'm going to give you this opportunity. You're going to have to eat shit for a little bit. You're going to have to make not that much money for a little bit. You're going to have to do things that you don't necessarily want to do, all the little intangibles that no one else is willing to do. But if you persevere through this and you perform at the level that I know you're capable of performing at, and you treat this one thing as you treat every other important aspect of your life, if you do that, you will be immensely rewarded for it in the near future. And that is exactly what is happening. This whole concept of how you do one thing is how you do everything is so common that it just goes over most people's head because it's so repetitive and it's been said so many times and people have heard it so many times. But genuinely, like, if you take anything away from any of these videos that you've watched of mine, I don't care if this is the first video that you've watched or if you've watched countless of my videos in the past, if there is one singular thing that I ask you to take away, it is to apply the principle into your life of how you do one thing is how you do everything. And you will genuinely watch in real time every single aspect of your life that you care about immediately 10x, 50x, 100x, and the longer you apply it, the bigger the percentage gets of how fast and how immense the progress that you will make in your life.